Aaron stepped off the shuttle onto the surface of the alien world, his boots crunching softly against the glowing ground. The air shimmered with colors he had never seen before, and the sky above pulsed with strange, moving lights. Even though he had trained for space exploration, nothing could have prepared him for this. He adjusted the straps of his suit and looked around. Towering structures stretched toward the sky, made of translucent materials that seemed alive. The buildings glowed faintly, changing colors in rhythm with the soft hum that filled the air. In the distance, flying creatures with wings like stained glass moved gracefully through the sky, their trails sparkling like tiny comets. Kayla, his alien guide, hovered nearby, her skin reflecting the ambient light in shades of gold and green. "Welcome, human," she said softly. "This is the city of the Queen. It is unlike anything you have seen, and it requires respect and patience to navigate." Aaron swallowed, feeling both awe and apprehension. "It's beautiful," he admitted. "And enormous." Kayla smiled. "Yes, the city is alive, connected in ways humans rarely understand. The Queen governs not by force but through harmony. Everything here, life, energy, thought, is intertwined. You must remember this, Aaron. Your actions will ripple through the city just as a single note can change a symphony." Aaron nodded, taking a deep breath. He had trained for survival, exploration, and diplomacy, but the weight of this mission felt heavier than anything he had ever faced. The Queen had summoned him for a reason. He didn't yet understand what that reason was, but he knew it would be significant. They moved through the city, the paths beneath them glowing softly with each step. Strange symbols pulsed along the walls, shifting and rearranging themselves, as if alive. Every corner of the city seemed to hum with energy, and Aaron felt a tingling sensation in his chest, as if the air itself was alive with curiosity. Kayla led him to the palace gates, enormous doors made of crystal-like material. The patterns on the surface flowed like liquid light, forming shapes that seemed to tell stories. Aaron reached out instinctively, and the door responded, sliding open silently to reveal the inner chamber. Inside, the palace was breathtaking. Light shimmered off walls that appeared to be made of liquid crystal, reflecting the vibrant colors of the sky above. Towers of energy spiraled through the center, and streams of floating light wove patterns across the floor. Every step Aaron took echoed softly, but the sound seemed to harmonize with the hum of the palace, creating a sense of calm he had never experienced before. At the center of the chamber, the Queen appeared. She descended from a high platform, her wings folded elegantly. Her eyes glowed softly, and her presence was so commanding that Aaron felt both small and honored to be in her presence. She was taller than any human, with limbs that moved with grace, and a calm aura that seemed to stretch across the entire room. "Human," she said, her voice resonating like a melody. "You have come far. Few of your kind have ever set foot in my city, and fewer still have been invited into my presence. Tell me, why do you seek to walk among us?" Aaron bowed respectfully. "Your Majesty, I am here to learn and to help in any way I can. I have trained for exploration, diplomacy, and understanding, and I hope my actions can bring value to your world." The Queen regarded him carefully, her gaze piercing yet not unkind. "Many come seeking knowledge, or advantage, or glory, yet you speak of service. This is rare among humans. Why should I trust your words?" Aaron swallowed, feeling the weight of the question. "Because I believe that understanding, respect, and courage can bridge worlds. I may not fully understand yours, but I am willing to learn, to listen, and to act with integrity." The Queen's wings shifted slightly, creating a soft hum that resonated through the chamber. "Very well, human. Words alone are not proof of character. You must show it through deeds. Your first trial will be one of observation, understanding, and courage." Aaron's heart pounded. He had expected challenges, but the Queen's calm authority made the stakes feel higher than anything he had faced. "What is the trial, Your Majesty?" he asked. The Queen extended her hand, and a floating map appeared between them. It displayed the surrounding region in glowing colors with areas pulsing red and others in calming blue. "There is a forest to the north," she said. "It is alive in ways your species may not comprehend. Recently, disturbances have caused fear and unrest among its creatures. You must go there, observe, and discover the cause. Approach with care, for the forest itself will respond to your actions." Aaron leaned closer to the map, studying the details. "I understand. I will proceed carefully." Kayla nodded. "I will accompany you. But remember, human, this is more than a mission of observation. The forest will test not just your intellect but your character. Do not let fear or impatience guide your actions. Listen first, act second." Aaron felt a mixture of excitement and apprehension. The forest was said to be dangerous, but also a place of immense beauty and life. Every step he would take there could influence the balance of the land and the creatures that lived within it. He had faced physical challenges before, but this trial required empathy, patience, and courage of a different kind. As they prepared to depart, the Queen's voice echoed softly through the chamber. "Remember, human, true strength is not measured by force alone but by understanding, patience, and the courage to do what is right. Show the forest your respect, and it will reveal its secrets." Aaron nodded firmly, determination settling in his chest. "I understand, Your Majesty. I will not fail." Kayla led him to the transport, a sleek hovering vehicle that glowed faintly with energy. The city passed beneath them as they flew toward the northern forest, and Aaron could see the vastness of the world stretching endlessly in every direction. Towering mountains, rivers of glowing liquid, and shimmering plains rolled out below them, each more magnificent than the last. The forest itself appeared like a living mosaic, with trees taller than skyscrapers and foliage that shimmered with colors beyond human imagination. Strange creatures moved among the branches, some gliding gracefully through the air, others darting along the glowing pathways between trees. Every aspect of the forest seemed aware, responsive, and full of life. As the vehicle descended, Aaron felt a deep sense of awe. This was no ordinary forest, it was a living ecosystem, a place where every creature, plant, and energy flow was interconnected. One wrong move could disrupt the balance, and he felt the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. Kayla landed the vehicle carefully, and the doors opened to reveal the glowing undergrowth. The forest pulsed softly, as if sensing their presence. Aaron stepped out, feeling the warmth of the ground beneath his boots and the faint hum of life in the air. He took a deep breath. "All right," he said softly. "Let's find the cause of the disturbance." Kayla nodded. "Observe first, listen, then act." Together, they entered the forest, moving quietly along the glowing paths. Strange shapes flickered in the corners of Aaron's vision, and the air was filled with the sounds of life he had never experienced before. The device in his hand pulsed faintly, sensing energy patterns in the environment, guiding him toward the source of the unrest. Minutes stretched into hours as they navigated the forest, observing its creatures and the energy flows. The disturbances were subtle. Small shifts in light, changes in the movement of creatures, and faint waves of energy that rippled through the undergrowth. Aaron studied each detail carefully, making notes and adjusting his approach with patience and precision. Finally, they reached a clearing where a group of quadrupedal creatures huddled together, their glowing eyes reflecting fear. The energy in the area was unstable, sending ripples through the forest and agitating the creatures. Aaron realized that this was the epicenter of the disturbance. Kayla whispered, "Approach with care, human. Your actions here will determine the forest's response." Aaron nodded and stepped forward slowly, speaking in calm, measured tones. "I mean no harm. I wish to help. Please, show me what troubles you." The creatures hesitated, then shifted slightly, sensing his sincerity. Aaron focused, using the device to observe the energy flows and patterns, aligning them carefully to restore balance. Gradually, the pulses of disturbance softened, and the creature's fear eased. Kayla's eyes gleamed. "You are learning, human. The forest recognizes your respect and courage. Aaron smiled, feeling a surge of relief and accomplishment. He had faced a challenge unlike any other, not of strength but of patience, observation, and empathy. The forest had tested him, and he had risen to meet it. As they prepared to return to the city, Aaron knew this was only the beginning. The world was vast, full of challenges that would test every aspect of his character. But for the first time, he felt a deep confidence in his ability to meet those challenges and to prove the potential of humanity among the stars. The human, named Aaron, stood at the edge of the alien city, still trying to comprehend the vastness around him. The city floated on enormous platforms above a glowing blue ocean, with towers that shimmered like crystals. Each building seemed alive, almost as if the entire city was a single organism breathing in rhythm with the waves below. He could hear a soft hum that resonated through the air, vibrating in his chest like a deep, calming song. Beside him, Kayla, the young alien guide, moved with fluid grace. Her skin reflected the light in soft colors that shifted with every movement. She noticed his hesitation. "Do not worry, Aaron," she said. "The Queen does not wish to harm you. She wishes only to see your courage and your heart." Aaron nodded, trying to steady his nerves. In the first encounter, he had seen the Queen from a distance, a towering figure with wings that sparkled like the night sky, eyes that held the wisdom of centuries, and a presence so commanding that even the bravest soldiers would have felt small. "Heart?" he asked. Kayla smiled. "Yes. In our ways, the Queen values those who can show loyalty, bravery, and kindness. She tests those qualities before trusting anyone completely." They reached the palace gates, which were carved from a translucent stone that glowed faintly from within. Strange symbols crawled across the surface, shifting like liquid light. Aaron felt a wave of nervous energy. He had never seen technology or magic like this before. "Remember," Kayla whispered, "the Queen can sense fear. Control it, or it will be obvious." Inside, the palace was even more breathtaking. The walls were covered with living vines that pulsed with light, and corridors twisted in ways that seemed impossible. Every step Aaron took echoed softly, as if the building itself was aware of his presence. They arrived at the central chamber, a massive dome with a crystalline floor that reflected the stars above. And there she was, the Queen. She descended from a high platform, wings folded elegantly, eyes scanning him carefully. Her presence was overwhelming, yet strangely comforting. "Human," she said, her voice a soft echo that seemed to fill the room. "You have been brought here for a reason." Aaron bowed, unsure if his gesture would be appropriate. I am ready to serve, Your Majesty." The Queen's gaze softened slightly. "We do not serve for reward, Aaron. We serve because it is needed. You wish to help." "Why?" Aaron swallowed, finding the courage he didn't know he had. "Because I believe that helping others is what makes us stronger, and I want to understand your world. I want to learn from it. If I can help your people, I will." For a long moment, the Queen studied him. Then she spoke again. "Many have come before you, but few have the resolve to see beyond fear. You show curiosity and respect. That is rare among humans." Aaron felt his chest swell with cautious hope. He had risked everything to come here, and perhaps, just perhaps, he was being seen for who he truly was. The Queen moved closer. Her wings brushed against the air, creating a soft hum that resonated in his chest. "We have a task for you," she said. "A challenge that will test not just your mind, but your spirit." Aaron straightened. "I am ready, Your Majesty." The Queen gestured toward a massive map floating above the center of the chamber. It depicted their entire planet and the neighboring star systems. Certain areas pulsed red, indicating unrest or danger. "There are forces beyond our world that threaten the balance of life here," she explained. "They are not like us. They do not value peace nor cooperation. They see strength as domination. You, human, may hold the key to keeping them at bay. Aaron stared at the map, feeling both fear and excitement. This was bigger than anything he had imagined. What do I need to do? The Queen extended a delicate hand, and a small device floated into Aaron's palm. It was unlike any technology he had seen. Smooth, warm, almost alive. Symbols glowed faintly along its surface. "This is a guide," she said. "It will help you navigate their world and understand their weaknesses, but the device alone will not be enough. You must use your mind, your courage, and your compassion. Only then can you succeed." Aaron examined the device carefully. He felt a strange connection to it, as if it was aware of his thoughts. I will do my best," he promised. The Queen inclined her head. "Good, but know this. Every choice you make will ripple through our world. One mistake and lives may be lost. You must remain vigilant." Kayla stepped forward. "Do not worry, Aaron. You will not face this alone. I will guide you, and others will assist when needed. But the final decision will always be yours." Aaron nodded, feeling a mixture of fear and determination. "I understand." The Queen turned her attention to the glowing map again. "Your first task lies in the northern forests of our world. There you will find creatures disturbed by an unknown force. Approach with care and listen to their needs. Learn from them, and find the root of the problem." Aaron took a deep breath. The forest had been rumored to be dangerous even for the alien species themselves. Now he had to venture there, relying not just on his human instincts but on the wisdom the Queen had begun to share. Kayla noticed his hesitation. "Trust yourself," she said softly. "And remember, courage is not the absence of fear, it is acting despite it." Aaron felt his heart steady. He had faced fear before, but never like this. Never under the gaze of an alien queen who expected him to rise beyond his limits. He looked at the device in his hand and felt a strange warmth, almost like it was giving him confidence. "Let us go," he said finally, setting his jaw. "The northern forest awaits and I will face whatever is there." Kayla nodded. "Stay close to me. And remember, listen first. Act second." As they stepped toward the exit, Aaron felt the weight of the Queen's gaze upon him. It was not threatening, it was expectant. She was not asking him to be perfect, only to be brave, clever, and compassionate. That was a challenge he could accept. Outside, the air of the alien world was crisp and full of strange scents. The sky shimmered in hues he had never seen, and distant mountains glowed faintly as if lit from within. Strange creatures moved in the distance, their eyes glinting with curiosity. Aaron felt a mixture of awe and apprehension. Every instinct told him to be careful, yet a deeper part of him, the part the Queen had seen, thrilled at the opportunity. "Ready?" Kyla asked. He nodded, gripping the device tightly. "Ready." And with that, the human stepped into a world that would test him in ways he could never have imagined. The adventure had begun and there was no turning back. The northern forest stretched out before Aaron like a living maze. Trees rose taller than anything on Earth, their trunks twisting in spirals and covered with luminous moss. The air shimmered with faint energy, and strange sounds echoed from the depths, chirps, clicks, and low hums that made his skin tingle. Kyla led the way, moving gracefully over roots and glowing fungi. She paused occasionally to point out hazards, a patch of floating spores, a deep ravine that seemed to appear suddenly, or a vine that reacted if touched. "This forest tests all who enter," Kayla explained. "It is alive in ways you do not yet understand. Respect it or it will challenge you." Aaron nodded, trying to steady his breathing. Every step seemed heavier than the last, but he pressed on. The Queen's words echoed in his mind. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is acting despite it. As they ventured deeper, a strange sound stopped Aaron in his tracks. It was a low, mournful call, almost like someone, or something, was in pain. "Do you hear it?" he asked. Kayla's expression grew serious. "Yes, that is why we are here. The creatures of this forest are distressed. We must find the source and understand it." They followed the sound through narrow paths and across streams of water that glowed with faint bioluminescence. The trees seemed to lean toward them as if guiding the way. Finally, they reached a clearing where a group of large quadrupedal creatures huddled together. Their skin shimmered with soft blue light, and their eyes reflected intelligence and fear. Aaron crouched slightly, speaking in a calm voice. "It's okay. I mean no harm." Kayla translated the gestures the creatures made, which was like watching flowing light move across the forest. "They sense a danger in the forest. Something unnatural has entered, and it frightens them. They do not understand it." Aaron studied the creatures carefully. They were majestic, yet vulnerable. Their fear reminded him of humans facing a storm they could not control. "How can I help them?" he asked. Kayla pointed toward a dark section of the forest. "Go there. The source waits. You must observe carefully before acting. The forest itself will react to your decisions." Taking a deep breath, Aaron stepped forward. The darkness ahead was thick, almost solid, but the device in his hand glowed faintly, illuminating a path. Strange shadows shifted in the corners of his vision, but he kept moving, focusing on the task. Suddenly, the ground trembled beneath his feet. A low roar shook the air, and Aaron realized the disturbance was larger than he expected. From the shadows emerged a massive creature, unlike anything he had seen before. Its body was covered in crystalline plates and its eyes glowed red. It moved with deliberate power, yet there was an intelligence in its gaze. Kayla whispered urgently, "Do not attack. Observe. Understand." Aaron froze, remembering the Queen's advice. The device in his hand pulsed stronger, almost as if urging him to act. Slowly, he raised it and focused. Symbols of light appeared above the device, forming a bridge of understanding. The creature hesitated, its roar fading into a low rumble. It seemed to sense Aaron's intention. Slowly, it lowered its head, eyes locking with his. A strange understanding passed between them, a silent communication that no words could convey. Kayla smiled. "You are learning, Aaron. The forest recognizes your courage and your respect for life." Aaron nodded. I just want to help." The creature moved aside, revealing a glowing crystal embedded in the earth. It pulsed with erratic energy, sending waves of fear through the forest and agitating the other creatures. "That must be the source," Kayla said. "It is a fragment of an unstable energy field. It disrupts life around it. You must stabilize it." Aaron approached the crystal cautiously. The device in his hand projected a holographic interface, showing patterns and waves of energy. Using his understanding of logic and observation, he began matching the patterns, aligning the energy flows with care. The crystal reacted to every adjustment, pulsing brighter and dimmer. Aaron focused intently, guided by instinct, the device, and Kayla's occasional advice. Minutes passed, but it felt like hours. Sweat dripped down his face, but he did not stop. Finally, the crystal stabilized. Its pulses softened, harmonizing with the forest around it. The air lightened and the creatures that had been hiding slowly emerged, their glowing bodies reflecting relief and curiosity. Aaron stepped back, exhausted, but exhilarated. "It's done." Kayla's eyes gleamed. "You did it. The forest recognizes you as a protector. You did not force your will upon it. You worked with it. That is what the Queen values most." The creatures approached, their eyes shining in gratitude. One of the larger ones touched its forehead gently to Aaron's device, a gesture Kayla explained as a blessing of trust. Aaron felt a warm surge of satisfaction. For the first time, he truly understood the connection between the alien world and its inhabitants. It was not about power, it was about respect, courage, and understanding. As they began the journey back to the city, the forest seemed calmer, almost guiding them home. The glowing paths shifted to lead the way, and the creatures watched them silently from a distance. Kayla spoke softly. "You have passed your first true test. The Queen will be pleased. Aaron smiled, but he knew the journey was far from over. The forest had been only the beginning. Other challenges awaited, each more complex than the last. But for now, he allowed himself a moment of pride. When they finally returned to the palace, the Queen awaited them. Her presence filled the chamber, wings folded elegantly, eyes observing him with curiosity. "You have returned," she said, "and you have succeeded where many would have failed. The creatures of the forest recognize your heart, human. That is no small achievement." Aaron bowed humbly. "I only did what I could, Your Majesty." The Queen inclined her head. "You did more than that. You proved that courage, understanding, and patience can bridge worlds. You have begun to earn the trust of my people." Aaron felt a sense of relief and pride. But Kayla's gaze reminded him that this was just the start. He had shown bravery and intelligence, but the challenges ahead would demand even more. The Queen's wings shifted slightly, creating a soft hum that resonated through the chamber. "Rest now, human. You will need your strength. Tomorrow, a greater task awaits, one that will test your resolve beyond what you have faced today." Aaron nodded, feeling a mixture of anticipation and nervousness. "I will be ready, Your Majesty," as he settled in for the night. He reflected on the day's events. The forest had tested him, but it had also taught him something important. Bravery was not about fighting. It was about understanding, patience, and empathy. The alien world was vast and full of wonders, but also dangers. And somewhere deep inside, Aaron felt a spark, a determination to rise to every challenge, to prove that humanity could stand strong even among the stars. The morning light spilled into the palace through the crystal walls, painting the chamber in soft, glowing hues. Aaron rose, feeling the weight of yesterday's triumph and the anticipation of what lay ahead. The forest had been a challenge, yes, but it had also been a lesson. Now he faced a new test, a mission that the Queen had described as far more demanding. Kayla awaited him outside his quarters, her expression calm yet serious. "The Queen has summoned you," she said. "Today, you will leave the city and journey to the eastern cliffs. There is a force there that threatens the balance of our world." Aaron nodded, gripping the device the Queen had given him. It pulsed faintly in his hand as if sensing his readiness. "What kind of force?" he asked. "Something unnatural," Kayla replied. "It is not a creature like those you faced in the forest. It is a machine or a construct left by beings from another star system. It consumes energy from the land and disrupts life wherever it goes. You must find a way to stop it." Aaron felt a shiver of unease. This sounded more dangerous than anything before. But the Queen's trust and Kayla's guidance gave him courage. "Let's go," he said. They departed the city, flying in a sleek, hovering vehicle that hummed quietly as it glided over the glowing landscape. The terrain below was unlike anything Aaron had ever seen: mountains of crystalline rock, rivers of liquid light, and forests that glowed with soft bioluminescence. Strange creatures watched them from afar, their eyes reflecting curiosity and intelligence. Kayla explained, "The eastern cliffs are sacred to our people. They hold energy nodes that maintain the balance of this region. The construct is disrupting them. If we fail, the energy will collapse and the land will wither." Aaron's mind raced. He had dealt with living creatures before, but a mechanical threat was a different challenge entirely. It would require not just courage, but ingenuity, quick thinking, and strategy. As they approached the cliffs, the sky darkened with swirling clouds, casting long shadows over the jagged terrain. The air vibrated with energy, making the hair on Aaron's arms stand on end. "There," Kayla said, pointing to a towering structure that shimmered unnaturally against the cliffs. It pulsed with red light, consuming the energy of the land around it. Trees nearby were wilting, and the rivers that once glowed with life now flowed with dull gray water. Aaron felt a knot of fear in his stomach, but he pushed it aside. "How do we stop it?" Kayla gestured to the device in his hand. "It can interface with the construct, but you must do more than just connect it. You must understand the rhythm of its energy and guide it into balance with the land. If you act too quickly or too slowly, it will react violently. They landed at the edge of the cliff, and Aaron stepped out carefully. The wind howled, carrying with it a sharp, metallic scent. The construct's surface shimmered like polished metal, with intricate patterns that seemed almost alive. Aaron approached cautiously, holding the device in front of him. Symbols glowed along its surface, responding to the energy waves emitted by the construct. He studied the patterns, matching their rhythm with the readings on the device. Suddenly, a pulse of energy shot from the construct, knocking him back a few steps. He recovered quickly, realizing that the construct reacted to hesitation or imbalance. Taking a deep breath, he focused, letting the device guide him. Hours passed as he worked, aligning the energy flows, adjusting the device's output, and responding to the construct's unpredictable pulses. Kyla stood nearby, translating the subtle vibrations of the cliffs and the changes in the environment into instructions he could follow. The air around them seemed to pulse with anticipation. Even the creatures that had come to watch, small glowing beings that flitted near the cliffs, remained silent, as if holding their breath. Finally, with a deep, steadying breath, Aaron made the last adjustment. The construct pulsed brightly, once then slowly began to harmonize with the land. Energy waves spread from it, restoring life to the surrounding cliffs, rivers, and forests. Trees regained their glow, rivers shimmered once more, and the creatures exhaled in relief. Kayla smiled, her eyes shining. "You have done it, Aaron. You have restored balance." Aaron sank to the ground, exhausted but exhilarated. I did it?" "Yes," Kayla said softly. "And you have done it without force. You listened, observed, and acted with care. That is why the Queen brought you here." As they prepared to return to the city, the construct's surface shimmered one last time. Then it shifted and folded into a smaller, inert form, a reminder that even the most dangerous threats could be neutralized with patience and understanding. Back in the palace, the Queen awaited them once more. Her eyes glowed softly as she regarded Aaron. "You have faced a trial that required not only courage but intelligence and empathy. Many would have failed, but you succeeded. You are learning the ways of our world, and in doing so, you honor humanity." Aaron bowed. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I only follow your guidance." The Queen inclined her head. "Guidance alone is not enough. It is your willingness to rise to each challenge, to act with respect and thought, that has brought you here. You are beginning to understand the essence of strength. True strength is not domination, but harmony." Aaron absorbed her words. Harmony. He had thought strength meant fighting or winning, but here, strength meant understanding, listening, and acting wisely. Every challenge had tested more than his courage. It had tested his character. Kayla added, "Tomorrow you will face a different kind of challenge, one that will test not just your mind and courage, but your ability to inspire others. There are communities beyond our lands that need guidance, and they will look to you for help." Aaron's eyes widened. "Guidance? Me?" Kayla nodded. "Yes. Your actions in the forest and at the cliffs have already begun to build a reputation. The Queen believes you can influence others, human or alien alike, to work together for the greater good." Aaron felt a surge of responsibility. It was one thing to face challenges alone, but leading others was entirely different. Still, he felt ready. The lessons he had learned, the importance of courage, patience, and understanding, would guide him. The rest of the day passed in preparation. Aaron studied maps, learned more about the alien technology, and practiced using the device to interface with other systems. Each new skill made him feel more capable, more confident in his role. That evening, as the twin moons rose over the alien city, Aaron walked through the palace gardens. The air was fragrant with glowing flora, and the soft hum of the city felt like a gentle heartbeat. He reflected on how far he had come, from a visitor unsure of his place to someone trusted by the Queen herself. Kayla approached quietly. "You have done well today," she said. "But remember, each success is only a step. Tomorrow your greatest challenge begins, not against creatures or machines, but against fear and doubt. You will need to inspire, guide, and protect those who depend on you." Aaron nodded, feeling both nervous and determined. He had learned much, yet he knew the path ahead would demand even more. But he was ready to face it. As he gazed at the glowing horizon, he realized that this journey was not just about surviving or solving problems. It was about proving the potential of humanity, about showing that humans could rise above fear, adapt to challenges, and work with others to protect life and harmony in a vast, unfamiliar universe. And in that moment, he felt a deep connection, not just to the alien world, but to the principles that had guided him throughout his life. Courage, respect, patience, and understanding were the tools he had always carried, even without realizing it. Now they would shape his destiny in ways he had never imagined. The adventure was far from over, but Aaron felt ready. Whatever challenges awaited, he would face them, not as a human alone, but as a part of something greater, guided by the wisdom of the Queen, the loyalty of Kayla, and the courage within himself. The sun rose over the alien city, casting a golden glow on the crystal towers and shimmering rivers below. Aaron stood on the balcony of the palace, feeling a mixture of excitement and nervous anticipation. Today, he would face his greatest challenge, yet the one the Queen had promised would test his ability to inspire and guide others. Kayla appeared beside him, her presence calm and reassuring. "The communities to the east are waiting," she said. "They have heard of your deeds in the forest and at the cliffs. They seek guidance, human, but they are wary. You must earn their trust." Aaron nodded, gripping the device in his hand. It had become a familiar companion, a tool that connected him to the alien world in ways he was still learning to understand. But this time, he knew that courage alone would not be enough. He would need patience, empathy, and clarity. As they prepared to depart, the Queen entered the chamber. Her wings shimmered in the morning light, and her eyes held the same intensity that had first struck him with awe. "Aaron," she said softly, "today you will not face machines, creatures, or even unstable energy. Today, you will face the hearts and minds of those who are uncertain. Lead them, show them the value of cooperation, and prove that humans can bring hope as well as courage. Remember what you have learned. You do not lead by force, you lead by example." Aaron bowed respectfully. "I will do my best, Your Majesty." The Queen inclined her head. "That is enough. Go, and may your heart guide you." They traveled east in the hovering vehicle, passing landscapes that glowed with life. Forests, rivers, and cliffs stretched endlessly, each more magnificent than the last. As they approached the first community, Aaron saw small clusters of alien settlements nestled among glowing trees and crystal formations. People gathered near the edges of the paths, watching the vehicle with curiosity and caution. Kayla explained, "They have faced difficulties, loss of energy, disrupted lands, and fear of the unknown. They need guidance, but they are skeptical. You must earn their trust." Aaron took a deep breath as the vehicle landed. He stepped out slowly, raising a hand in greeting. The aliens regarded him silently, their expressions guarded but attentive. "I am Aaron," he said calmly. "I come not to command but to help. I have faced challenges here, and I have learned lessons that may help you. Together, we can restore balance and harmony to these lands." A murmur spread through the crowd. Some stepped forward hesitantly, while others remained cautious. Aaron knew he had to act carefully. He began by listening, asking questions about the issues they faced, observing the subtle energy shifts in the land, and showing respect for their customs. Hours passed as he moved through the community, speaking to leaders, guiding small groups, and using the device to identify energy disruptions that threatened their crops and homes. Every step he took demonstrated patience and understanding, and gradually the skepticism in their eyes began to soften. At midday, a sudden tremor shook the ground. Crystalline formations around the settlement cracked, sending a wave of unease through the inhabitants. Aaron rushed forward with the device, assessing the situation. The energy in the area was unstable, caused by a network of nodes that had fallen out of alignment. Kayla observed him closely. "This is a test of leadership, Aaron. You must guide them, not just fix the energy. Show them how to work together." Aaron took a deep breath and turned to the gathered aliens. "We can fix this," he said firmly. "But we must do it together. Each of you has a role. Trust in yourselves and trust in each other." Slowly, the community members followed his instructions. Some adjusted the energy nodes, others stabilized the surrounding terrain, and a few coordinated with the device. Under Aaron's guidance, he gave clear, calm directions, encouraging cooperation and patience. Minutes felt like hours, but finally, the energy stabilized. The trembling stopped, the cracks healed, and a soft glow returned to the land. The community members looked around, in astonishment, relief, and newfound confidence. One elder approached Aaron, his eyes filled with gratitude. "You have shown us a way forward, not just with your device, but with your heart. You have reminded us of our strength when we work together." Aaron smiled, feeling a warmth he had never experienced before. "You all had the strength. I only helped you see it." Kayla's eyes gleamed. "The Queen will be proud. You have inspired them, human. That is the highest achievement." As the sun dipped lower in the sky, Aaron and Kayla moved to the next settlement, repeating the same process, listening, guiding, and teaching cooperation. Each community responded with growing trust and respect, and by evening, the eastern lands were beginning to thrive once more. When they finally returned to the city, the Queen awaited them in the central chamber. Her eyes shone with pride and wisdom. "You have succeeded, Aaron," she said. "Not because you acted alone, but because you inspired others to act with courage, patience, and understanding. You have proven the value of humanity among the stars." Aaron bowed deeply. "I only followed the lessons I have learned from you, Your Majesty, and from Kayla." The Queen's wings shifted slightly, creating a soft hum that filled the chamber. "Guidance, compassion, and bravery. These are traits that define true strength. You have embodied them, human. You have risen beyond fear, beyond doubt, and proven that humans can achieve greatness, not just through force but through cooperation and wisdom." Aaron felt a deep sense of fulfillment. The journey had been challenging, each step pushing him beyond his limits. Yet he had grown, not just as a human but as a leader, a problem solver, and a bridge between worlds. Kayla stepped forward. "The communities will remember your guidance. The forest, the cliffs, and these lands will thrive because of what you have done, and you, Aaron, will always be part of this world's story." Aaron smiled. "I am honored, and I will continue to learn and help in any way I can." The Queen inclined her head, her expression serene. "Your journey has shown us the potential of humanity. You have demonstrated courage in the face of danger, intelligence in solving complex challenges, and wisdom in guiding others. That is why you were brought here. That is why you were chosen." Aaron reflected on the words. He had faced fear in the forest, challenges at the cliffs, and the doubts of communities unfamiliar with humans. Each trial had taught him patience, understanding, and the importance of leadership. But now, standing in the presence of the Queen, he realized the full scope of what he had achieved. "You have brought balance to our lands, human," the Queen continued. "You have earned the trust of my people, and in doing so, you have shown that humanity can stand as a force for good, even among the stars. Your courage has inspired not just the communities you helped, but all who have witnessed your deeds." Aaron bowed again, feeling the weight of her words. "Thank you, Your Majesty, I am humbled." Kayla stepped close, her smile proud. "You have truly become a bridge between our worlds, Aaron, not through strength alone, but through wisdom, patience, and respect. That is the greatest achievement of all." Aaron looked around the chamber at the glowing walls and the shimmering light, and felt a deep connection to this world. It was more than an adventure or a mission. It was a place where he had grown, where he had learned the power of humanity in its best form. Courage, compassion, and intelligence could change the world, even in ways he had never imagined. The Queen extended her hand in a gesture of acknowledgement. "Go forth, Aaron. Continue to explore, to guide, and to inspire. Humanity has great potential, and you have proven that you can show it to the galaxy." Aaron took a deep breath, feeling a surge of determination. "I will, Your Majesty. I promise to do my best." The Queen's wings shimmered in a wave of light. "Then go, human, and know that your deeds will echo far beyond this world. You have made history here, and the stars themselves will remember the courage and wisdom of humanity." As Aaron left the palace with Kayla, he felt a sense of peace and purpose he had never known. The challenges had been immense, but he had grown stronger, wiser, and more capable. He understood now that courage was not just about facing danger, but about guiding others, earning trust, and acting with integrity. The night sky stretched above them, filled with stars that glimmered like the crystals of the alien world. Aaron looked up, imagining all the worlds out there waiting to be explored, helped, and understood. And with that vision, he stepped forward, ready to continue his journey. Not just as a human in a strange world, but as a symbol of humanity's courage, wisdom, and potential. The adventure was far from over, but Aaron knew one truth for certain: humans could rise to any challenge, inspire others, and shine among the stars. And he would carry that lesson wherever the journey led next.